Good morning. It is Sunday the 12th of April and it is time for the Lincoln 10K. Yes, it is Sunday morning and the weather's lovely. I'll show you outside. It is a good sign because this time yesterday, it's about 8:10, it was grey, miserable and raining, but the sun always turns up for the Lincoln 10K. Hope it wasn't as hot as it was last year though, because that was a joke. Myself and Ben did it last year. Hopefully I'll add a picture in of us there. And I first did this race in 2024, and the relevance of mentioning that again, see picture attached, is that is the time that we are chasing today. So I have said on the podcast before that if I am going to do an event again, because obviously I've got quite a few races in the race calendar for this year, but if it's an event that I am going back to, the goal is simple. We have to go there to beat my best time at that course. And today is attempt number 3 at the Lincoln 10K. 2024, my time, and I have it to hand, was 1:24:58. And that sits in the 6th quickest 10K that I've ever done. Last year though, I'm not sure what happened last year, that sits in 14th because that was 1:28:32. So quite a drop off, so I'm really keen not to drop off again. Didn't park run yesterday. In truth, haven't ran since last week at Victoria Embankment Park Run, which by the way, the vlog for that is out, so hopefully by the time you're watching this, you'll have watched that one. If you haven't, go over and check it out. It was only their fourth event that day, so they're a very new park run. If you're a beginner runner, you live in the East Midlands, that is the park run for you. You'll see today why the Lincoln 10K is one of my favourite events in the calendar. The support is off the scale. And do you know what, I was thinking about this when I was gearing up to do this vlog. I was like, right, what can I mention about it? Obviously I'll try and show you as much as I can today in terms of support. Some of the scenery will run past. You would have seen it in a little bit of it in the video that I did when I did the bingo card run. But bit of a bold claim here, providing all goes well today. Again, it would have to take something catastrophic for me to maybe not think this, but I'm starting to think that the Lincoln 10K might actually be top of my leaderboard of favourite races. We all know that at the moment it's the Birmingham 10K because obviously my hometown, the support off the scales, it's usually good weather, you get the day off after it as well because it's a bank holiday weekend. And you finish in the centre of town and then you can go down to Brindley Place and have a couple of pints. But this is, the support is also incredible here as well. Yeah, like I say, 1:24:58 is a time to beat. It's all up here, I know it's boring, people might watch this and they're like, oh here we go, he's mentioning the mental state again, but it really, really is. The last 10K I did, I ran with Jake, and that helped no end. I shaved almost 4 minutes or 6 minutes, I can't remember, off my time from the Wolverhampton 10K previously, but a lot of that was big credit to having Jake next to me. I'm going to be there out on my own today, and some of the parts of the course are a bit lonely, a bit like the Wolverhampton one. You know, I know I've just talked about how well supported it is, but there are parts of that course where you're sort of in and out estates and not many people are out, and especially for us sort of slower runners, by the time you get to certain places, people have gone home by then. And because it starts, where it starts, you do not finish there, but you do pass the start line again. And by the time you get round to passing the start line, because you're a little bit slower, everyone will have gone to where the finish line is around the cathedral. Again, I'll show you all this in a video and I'll point it out. But yeah, thankfully the weather is on my side, so yeah, let's go and head into Lincoln, shall we?
We will of course have a team of pacers who come along to support you today. Our team of pacers sponsored by by Arla Protein will be on hand to support you on your run today.
So, Lincoln 10K, a glorious day in the sunshine, as you can see from my magnificent camera work, which probably lasts as long as my PB hopes for this run. And just on cue, you can see in the high vis, passing me on the left, is no other than the photographer taking a gentle stroll and beating me. Face not best pleased. But a jubilant city after Lincoln City's promotion to the second tier for the first time since 1961. And the crowd were out in force. If only my camera work could show it. What my camera work did pick up, though, was this chap at 1 kilometre. Lovely day for a Guinness. And boy, oh boy, did I agree. 2 kilometres in, because I am that quick, I was at 2 kilometres in the drop of a hat. Little shot of the legs. I'm not going to lie, I thought it looked cooler than it did, and it turned out rubbish. Little shot here of the paces as well, and this was a moment where I thought, right, I run down this road a lot in my midweek runs. Midweek runs, remember them? And I thought, do you know what? Get ahead of the pacers and, you know, really build on something. Needless to say, I think we got to the bottom of this road and those pacers were far gone, well past me. So, yeah, that soon went out the window, which was a bit of a shame, to be honest. But, yeah, again, you can see a lovely sunny day and the people of Lincoln out in their numbers. Absolutely love to see it. Don't love to see the camera work. So if you've got vertigo, I do apologise. Or if you are car sick or travel sick, apologies again. Here I am coming up to the 3 kilometre mark. Just want to say there's a roundabout here and that's where the start line is. By the time I'd started, me and this fella started, the Hull City mascot. By the time I'd started, there were people already passing the 3 kilometre mark. Here's me trying to be cool and trendy, show a 5 for 5k, and I'm just showing the fat hands, sausage fingers. A little candid video of me running, because why not? I hadn't done it and I look as knackered as I look. 6 kilometre mark, and here we go. This is why you tune into CTF, a bit of analysis. Coming up to the start line again now, and then 7k round the corner, but feeling good so far. 7 kilometre, and the bloke on the wall on the left there was having a good chat with me. And get ready for the Lincoln Rock Choir, because they are coming very, very soon. Obviously not as soon as I thought. 8 kilometres in and here's a Lincoln Rock Choir. Boom. Hallelujah, sisters, and hallelujah indeed. 9 kilometres in, and yeah, up to the feet.
Mike, well done, and your hair's still perfectly intact. It's like you not even left the house yet, you look amazing.
Fuck's sake.
Hello, I am back home. I did do a video previously, but it was literally as soon as I got in. So I've showered now, feel a bit more fresh. I'm very dehydrated at the moment. I did the usual thing Mike Duffy does and has a couple of beers after the race, and they went straight to my head. So since I got back, I've just been staying hydrated. But let's give you some post-race thoughts. Not straight off the bat, not where I wanted to be today, to be honest. 1:27.12 is the chip time that I got. Obviously at the start of this video I said that I wanted 1:24.58. Below that would have been, you know, well, that is what I went there to aim to do. So the fact that I'm sort of about 3 minutes off where I needed to be is disappointing, especially because I actually feel for once that I actually ran quite well. Now, there might be people that watch this, stumble across this video that ran the 10k and saw me out there as well. I mean, it was bloody hard to miss me with my massive, you know, yellow, luminous yellow Watford top. And you might have watched me and thought, you ran well. You thought that was well, because it was very stop-start. But I like to think, I mean, I don't have my phone on me to tell you what my split times were. maybe Ben can be an absolute gentleman and put my split times on the screen here. But I actually thought, you know, even though it was very stop-start, I was, you know, only stopping for a little bit. Then I was going and I was pushing myself, you know, outside of my boundaries without letting it affect me up here. I knew that going into today was going to be so much different to my last 10k race, the Wolverhampton 10k, because the simple thing of I didn't have anyone to run with. I mean, it is so much easier. You guys watching this will know. It is so much easier when you're running with someone and you go in the same sort of pace, because you can just spur each other on. But I'm not often very proud of myself, but I must sort of take my hat off to myself a little bit there. And, you know, the fact that I was able to keep those segments going, even when my body was sort of saying, look, you know, you're knackered here, you need to walk for a bit longer, I sort of just carried straight on, and I managed to sort of push through some tough times. It was only really when I got to the end and I saw the flag that said 200 metres, and in my head straight away I thought, right, okay, this is where it's going to get me. Because in my head, and I don't know if anyone watching this has the same issue, if you're a bit of a slower runner like me, where obviously the finish line, or as close to the finish line, is where most spectators gather to watch, because they're wanting to watch loved ones, family, friends, you know, cross the finish line. Now, in my head, if I'm coming up to that, that is the worst place to stop. Plenty of times during the run, throughout the run, my body is saying, right, okay, have a breather here, Mike. And then I might like look at a sign and be like, right, I'll run to there, see how I feel, and then I might have another breather. That goes out the window when you're in that sort of territory, because there is nothing. I'm speaking about myself here. I'm not talking about anyone else. So if you do this, I'm not having a pop or anything. But in my head, there is nothing more embarrassing than having to stop and walk a little bit when the finish line is literally in sight and all of those people are there watching you. So you'll see in the video anyway, you know, granted I've just sat and watched them back because I've just sent it all over to Ben, and some of the camera, it feels like I'm holding it still, but obviously, as you'll see on the videos, I'm not. You know, I got to a certain point and I thought, right, this is it now. Even though your body's probably screaming at you, you need to stop, you need to stop. You know, my heart's racing, pounding out my chest, and I feel like, you know, I've got no energy. In my head, I'm like, I cannot stop now because the finish line is right there. And, you know, I actually sped it up a little bit today. So maybe if I didn't do that, my time would have been a bit slower, and it probably would have crept sort of closer to my 2025 time. I think that was 1:28:32, I think I said. So, yeah, look, bittersweet today. Happy to beat 2025's time. You know, if I'm comparing to last year, which I'll be open, I have been doing a lot recently, then it's progress. But if I'm looking at when I first went there, it's not progress because I've not come anywhere near it. So, yeah, it's, like I say, it's bittersweet really, and I've just got to brush myself down. These runs happen, you know. We've already got our parkrun destination. I was going to keep it secret then, but by the time you watch this, we would have done that parkrun on the morning that you see this, on the Saturday, the 18th, I want to say. So we'll have done Edgbaston Reservoir. So I will, of course, be aiming for a course PB on that. It's a brilliant flat course in Birmingham, around the reservoir, funnily enough. So yeah, I just got to brush myself down, have a good week, and basically get ready. My next 10k event isn't till June, which is the Two Castles, and then in July I've got my first half marathon of the year, which is the Birmingham Black Country Half Marathon. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave it a like. Please do hit subscribe as well. It helps more than you think. It really, really does. And tell your friends as well. You know, if you're new to running, if you're a pro, if you've been doing it, a veteran in the game, you know, hopefully we cater for all abilities here on Chasing the Finish. But yeah, until next time, keep on trucking and keep on chasing that finish.